Another week, another game. This time I decided to show how much I ascended and played Dear God. The game is a basic platformer with a procedural area creation thing. That's a fancy way of saying that the different areas appear in the game are randomized and don't really have a set order. That's a lot of fun though to me, to not exactly know where you're going, but it's kind of also annoying at the same time because you're trying to progress through the story and you might need to get to an area and it doesn't spawn immediately and you're kind of just like, when will you spawn? And I mean, I think I yelled that a few times and made my downstairs neighbors wonder what I was trying to spawn. Side note, you know what, I will say it is something though that to have to like figure out the story along the way in this one, so it is kind of interesting. Now I'm again, no spoilers here, but because it's procedural and there's kind of that whole randomness to it, you kind of have to piece the story together yourself, which, going back to what I said previously, is fun and annoying at the same time. It's not really the hold your hand sort of thing that a lot of games go and do, where you begin the game and it's like, objective, do this, or someone goes and says, do this, because the game's called Dear God, so it's not really that much talking. So yeah, you gotta kind of figure it out yourself, and it makes it interesting, and it's completely new to me in a way, or newer thing. But you're put into this world and you have no idea what will happen next, so you just gotta wander around and figure out. You unlock different powers that you can use for good or evil, and items that can help you along the way. Now, as I said before, like, there's no clear direction, so I'll be honest, when I started, I was more confused than anything else. It wasn't anything like again, the objective sign or anything like that. So what was I supposed to do? Just how was I supposed to know what to do? What was I supposed to do? Go and just figure it out? Like a game's actually going to have to go and make you do that. Every game's going to go and be like, objective, here's what you need to go and do. But no, this one actually makes you have to find out for yourself. And in the meantime, when you're finding it out, you get to enjoy this really cool 16-bit-esque artwork that it has, as well as this nice calming music behind it. And the story itself is pretty interesting for how basic, for lack of a better term, the game is. Doesn't mean that it's bad, doesn't mean that it's boring. It is a lot of fun to go and play though. And it's just because of that procedural generation that the game has, it does keep you on your toes. Sometimes you might jump to your own death and not realize it because that's how the game works. But it did make me enjoy it by the end. And I guess that's kind of the big thing, regardless of how you go into it, what the end result of the game is. And I enjoyed it. I do think it was a fun game. I don't think it's necessarily something for everyone, but I think people that don't want a super action-packed game or something that's really, really, I guess, story-driven, because, random story points, that the game's for them. And I think that's the best thing. But that's all I have for this week, and time for the hint for next week. Being a detective is difficult, but solving your own murder, that's much harder. See y'all next week.